Yo, what's up, people? This your boy Pete Ross, back in the building with another one. And yo, check this out, yo. We got a vintage watch battle, okay? If y'all know me and y'all been around for a minute on this channel, y'all know it's nothing more than I love is a vintage watch, okay? And today's contestants, we got the Timex, one of my favorite vintage watches right here. You know what I'm saying? The Timex Viscount, okay? And we have the Caravelle from Belova. Now, as you know, Timex was killing the affordable market back then, okay? Belova created Caravelle in order to counteract that. You know what I mean? And compete with affordable watches like Timex. So let's get into this battle and let's see who wins on this head-to-head.
Now, we're gonna start off with dial, okay? If you look at this watch, this Timex Viscount, okay? You have Timex at the 12 o'clock, self-wind at the 6 o'clock. Of course, you have the indices that's going around 3, 6, 9, and 12 with applied indices in between each one. Now, I love the way this champagne dial looks. It has an acrylic crystal, and I really think that this watch pops out at you. Now, let's go with the Caravelle, right? You know what I mean? This dial here, I feel like pops a little bit more than the Timex. This particular dial here, I feel like it has a deeper champagne color, and I really like, you know what I mean, the indices being applied going around the dial from 1 to 12. And on the tips of the hour and the minute hands, it looks like it's no longer there and not working, but it was loom at one time. So if I'm going with dials, I definitely would give the upper hand to the Caravelle, which again, I feel like it just pops a whole lot more than the Timex. You know what I mean? But Timex still looks good, but I'm just saying, I'm gonna go with the Caravelle over this. Now let's go with movement. The heart and soul of the watch, as a lot of people say. The Viscount series has an automatic movement in it. In the early 60s, it was the M31 and M32, the movements that were used. They were both M24 movements with an additional functionality of self-winding. In the late 60s through the 70s, the M107 and the M108 and the M109 were used. But you can recognize a Timex Viscount by the printed automatic on the dial, or as this watch here shows, self-wind in the early days. Now, the Caravelle watch has a 7 joule manual wind 11DP movement in it. You know what I mean? And I'm guessing that the argument was because the Caravelle watch had a movement with jewels in it versus the Timex that didn't have a movement with jewels in it, that the Caravelle movement was the best at the same price as the Timex. So yo, if I have to choose which movement, I'm gonna give this a tie. I'm gonna give this a tie because I've had extensive time with both of these watches, and they both haven't missed a beat. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna give this category a tie. Now let's talk about on the wrist, okay? I feel like the Timex Viscount has a great presence on my wrist. You know what I mean? Especially for the size that this watch is. With me having a 7.25 inch wrist, I definitely feel like this wears well for me. Now, the Caravelle on my wrist, I feel like it wears pretty well too. You know what I mean? Again, the dial is popping, but we're talking about what feels better, you know what I mean, under a cuff, or what feels better on your wrist. You know what I mean? It definitely feels good, and I love the way it looks. So if we're talking about what I think looks better on the wrist, I am definitely gonna go with the Timex. I've probably had these watches for the same amount of time, and I've definitely wore the Timex Viscount more. So let's give the wrist check to the Viscount. So yo, check this out. You know what I mean? We gave the Caravelle the dial and the aesthetic. As far as movement go for both watches, we gave it a tie. But then as far as overall wearability and how it looks on the wrist, we gave it to the Timex Viscount. So that's 1-1 in a tie. We did not come up with a definitive winner. Please comment down in the comment section which one do y'all think looks better or whatever, you know what I mean? So get back at your boy. This is the Timex versus Caravelle Vintage Watch Battle. More coming soon. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Peace. We up out of here.